Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Merchants of the Dark Road. Merchants of the Dark Road is brought to you by Elf Creek Games. It's for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, and games range anywhere from 60 to 120 minutes. After half a year of daylight, we must now prepare for the dark season. The roads will be treacherous, but they will still need to be braved by a select few in order to keep our cities thriving. In Merchants of the Dark Road, you are one of these brave merchants that travel the dangerous paths between cities. While the job is perilous, fame and fortune awaits. Discover the capital city where most of your actions will take place using a Rondale action system. Collect and produce items to add to your caravan, or sell these items to local heroes and hire them to travel with you. Manipulate the market price of items, visit the Black Alley cellars, or delve a nearby dungeon for magical items to gain the potential for even more coin and notoriety. Gather lanterns to ease your passage along the dark roads as you guide your caravan to distant villages. Deliver goods and heroes to the best destinations and gain fame for your bravery. Balance the money you earn with the height of your fame, because your final score after a number of game rounds will reflect the lowest of these two values. After all, what's a good purse full of coin if the people don't sing songs about you? And what good is a song with an empty mug of ale? All right, there's a lot to this game, and for setup, we're just going to give you some of the high points just so you have a feel for what some of the things you're going to be doing. There's several locations on the board. The first thing you're looking at is like the Queen's Commission. This is where you get contracts in order to get money and prestige to win the game. And you have to fulfill these and take them to the different locations. So you'll stack these up here, and in the middle of the town, you have your specific objective cards. And you do start the game with an objective card, but you can get more. And then around this edge of the boards here, you'll see that there's these modular add-on buildings to the different locations, and these can be mixed up and changed for every game you play. And then of course you have the hero area where you're going to be going to the inn, the Ringway Inn, as well as the Great Bazaar where you're placing dice to start the game in order that you can manipulate these goods. And the thing about goods is that you need to place them in your caravan. However, this is one of the things I really like about this game is that it's very puzzly. You're going to be placing those into the caravan, trying to make sure they fit. It has a very thematic feel to it as you like jam it into your caravan to try to make sure you get all the pieces in place. And you need those goods in order to get heroes and fulfill these contracts. And those are really some of the basics, the main things you're going to be doing for the board. And then there's some specific dice and other tokens you'll be placing around, as well as the travel events. You have shortcuts and you have the dark road. Then along the side of the board are all your companions that you may use as you decide to embark on a caravan. And that is all represented on the very right of the board, where you can travel the dark road or you can travel to the ruins of Yin by visiting Jurg's Excursions. The board also offers a way to track all your prestige as you travel through the game. And then you have your very own caravan. You have caravan tokens that you'll place and move around the city. Now, each of these are color-coded, and you're going to start with 7 dice. These are really dice that you're going to be pushing into the different actions, and we'll get to that in a minute. But the thing here is that you start with 7, and when you run out of dice, that triggers the game end, and you're going to calculate score. But you have those dark dice, and you get to start with one of the illuminated dice. And we'll get to what those mean in a minute. But you also get a hero to start the game, and you'll get your own steed, your own horse. And these horses are going to have different abilities and powers. So as you play each game, then we'll mix that up. And some of the horses can actually carry items for you, as well as some of the heroes can carry items, or they might do things like give you lanterns right out of the gate. So they have a lot of possibilities on how you can start the game. You're going to get some gold to start and so forth. But that's kind of the basics. Now you're going to be placing the dice in the positions 1, 2, and 3, and the pips will represent that as well. However, the other 4 dice you're going to be rolling and placing into the reserve. And then you're pretty much ready to begin. You do get that objective card that I mentioned before, and you do get an item to start, as well as some additional gold. But you get to pick what item you want to start with, what good that you want to use right out of the gate. So there are 4 phases to a player's turn. You have planning, you have movement, you have acting, which is the actions out on the board, and you have rest. So for planning, the way that's going to work is that you look at the dice that you have on your caravan, and you're going to be moving them up through the slots. And what does that mean? Well, right above each dice is a particular type of action, really, that can be taken advantage of. So if you move up through the anvil, you're going to be crafting an item. And there's a crafting chart on your board based on the number on the dice will determine what type of good you can achieve by moving up into that slot. You'll move the dice all the way up to the spot on the left. You'll see that the spots on the left and right, there's a spot for illuminated dice and for the dark dice. So you're only going to be moving one of these up. Now, through the middle, you have a choice. You're going to either get a lantern or you're going to activate your illuminated dice, which means then potentially you're going to have 2 dice to work with when you move to your actions. And you would place the illuminated dice in its spot on the board. And then finally, the 3rd slot is just a couple choices here. You'll move the dice up through that area, again moving it to the left, and just the dark dice, but you'll be either collecting gold or manipulating the market or the Great Bazaar by moving it 1 space to the right. So those are just the basics of what you're going to be doing on your board. But the thing is, once you move a dice up to the spot at the top, then a dice from your reserve is going to move up behind it. And you can pick whichever one you want, so you're planning ahead. And so the pips on your dice dictate your movement. And so movement is very straightforward. Again, you're looking at the pips of the dice that you chose, and you're looking at the city centers, basically 5 locations that take you around the board. You're going to be interacting with either the inn, the Great Bazaar, the Queen's Commission, you're going to Jurg's Exchange, or you're going to the Dark Market. Now, some of these areas, based on roads that lead off, have add-on buildings that you could take advantage of as well. But in order to do those add-on buildings, you have to have the illuminated dice in order to do that. But there's so many options here, all over the board. You can be manipulating this Great Bazaar, or you might be going and hiring heroes. So let's take a look at action phase next. And so in this act phase, you're going to be interacting with the different districts. And first, let's take a look at the Ringway Inn. This is where you're going to get heroes. You're going to sell goods to the heroes in order to get coin and have them join your caravan. Now, you're looking at the different goods on their cards, and you can sell 1 or more to them. And you're going to consult the Great Bazaar to find out what that cost will be, and they'll pay you that in coin, and you'll remove those items from your caravan. And you can only ever have 3 heroes that tag along with you, but you'll place them at the top of your caravan. And if you have any upgraded items, it's important to note that all these items have an upgraded phase. You can flip them over, and it's kind of a gold, glowy, magical item. Then you'll also get a crystal. Crystals are valuable as well. So those are just some basics that you're going to be doing there. You're going to be looking at the different ones. And again, a lot of these heroes have different things they can do, like carry items for you or give you lanterns. And if there's an attached building, depending on what building it is going to do various things. In the case of here, we have the Oracle, and you're going to be rolling the dice and getting whatever the dice resolves to. You get those different things, like you could get prestige, 2 prestige out of the gate just from that location. But again, in order to take advantage of that location, that add-on location to the inn, you would have to have an illuminated dice to do so. Now, what's important here is that when you activate a different area, you're going to move the dice from your caravan and put it at the top of the particular district that you're going to activate. And next, let's take a look at the Great Bazaar. First thing you can do is manipulate this market, basically move it 1 space to the right or clockwise. And then you can take one of the dice and manipulate its face and put it on one of the different types of goods. Now, any of these goods can have up to 2 dice on them, but that's it. And then you get to purchase. So all the dice, all the different areas, as much gold as you want to spend, you'll move them off the wheel and give your coin to the bank and collect the different items. Now remember, as you get these items, these goods, you're placing them in your caravan. You might have to jam them in. It's definitely a puzzle. I love that aspect of this game. Really, really like that. So those are the basics that you're doing here in that bazaar. And again, all these different buildings that attach to the different districts are going to do varied things as well. Next, we have the Queen's Commission. And here, this is really a way for you to get contracts in order to take them to the cities when you do the travel action. And you can only have 3 of these at any one time. You'll place your dice like you do in all the districts and collect one of these. Now, it's important to keep in mind that whatever heroes you have, you want to try to take heroes and perhaps the different contracts to the same location, getting more prestige and more gold. Now let's take a look at the dark market. And really, once you're there, you're going to be paying gold to manipulate the market, moving it clockwise, and then doing whatever it says. Either you're collecting goods, you're getting the objective cards, or you're getting commissions. And just another way to get the different goods around the city. Now, these objective cards are going to give you rewards too, so it is a place to get those for sure. All right, so now let's look at Jurg's Excursions. This is where you're going to be traveling. You're going to be visiting the cities, doing your commissions, fulfilling your commissions, I should say, maybe taking heroes where they need to go. But first, it might be worthwhile going to the ruins of Yin because you can get magical items here. The thing you're looking at is how many heroes are with you, +1, will determine where you move the marker on the track. And then you can collect those goods. And again, they're upgraded, they're magical goods at that point, which give you more prestige and more money when you deliver them to the cities. So it might be a good place to stop off first. And you also get to roll the dice, which is going to give you crystals, or it might allow you to just re-roll the dice, but coin and all kinds of things this dice will do, as well as giving you the ability to get goods and heroes and so forth. Or you've decided to travel. Now, with traveling, you have some decisions to be made. First, what companion are you going to take with you? You'll pick that companion you put in your play area. Now, one of the companions has an extra travel dice, and you'll put that dice on the board. Second, you're going to declare where you're taking this caravan, what city you're going to visit. And again, you're basing this based on what commissions and heroes that you need to deliver to these cities. Now, you as the leader will have to go to that specific city. However, as we'll see, any players that go with you in this caravan can pick any of the cities in the region that you've picked, either being the green, the purple, or the blue. Now, you have to decide, you know what, I know a shortcut, or we're going to take the standard dark road. But if you do know a shortcut, then you have to spend 3 lanterns to do so. And there are narrative cards that you'll pull for this, either the shortcut or the dark road. So, based on the number of players that have decided to go along on this caravan, will determine the number of dice that are rolled, these travel dice, as well as if you chose the companion that had the travel dice. You'll take all those and roll them. Now, we decided to go the dark road. And there's narrative based on all of these cards, but the leader will place the dice along the bottom of the card. Now, each player is going to pick one of these dice and get the reward. However, the blue or black icons are the ones that give reward, and the red are negatives. So keep that in mind. However, they do have some abilities, like with your horses, that can augment dice in this case. So keep that in mind. But really, you as the leader, you're going to probably go for the positive and let your fellow players get the negative. And it's important to note that if one of the players does not like one of the dice choices, they can gather all the dice for 1 lantern and re-roll them. And once you've arrived at your destination, and hopefully you've planned well enough that you're delivering heroes as well as commissions that you've completed, you're delivering all those to the different cities and so forth. And you're going to be collecting rewards. There's region rewards for heroes, and there's also rewards for based on the different commissions and things that you deliver here. You're looking again for prestige and gold and so forth. Now, the cards that you traveled along, the roads, either the shortcut or the dark road, will also give the different types of rewards at the bottom, and multiples in some case for like shortcuts and so forth. So there's also upgrade tiles and things of that nature that you can collect and put on your boards. So there's lots of reasons to gather enough items and goods and commissions and heroes so you can do a successful delivery to a city. And so the game will go like this round after round until you've used up all your dice. And that's one of the game end triggers. And then you'll calculate all your prestige points as well as all your gold. And whichever has the lesser value will be your total score. And you'll do that for each player. Whoever has the most, the highest score, will be the ultimate merchant of the land. All right, folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form. So keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now with that said, this game has a lot of depth to it. We didn't even go into deep into what the different objective cards do, but they can add a lot to your points that you get at the end of the game by accumulating different things and so forth. So this game has a lot of depth to it for sure. And the fact that I still really like the puzzle aspect of jamming all your goods into your caravan. That's one of my favorite parts about this game. But it does give you a lot of choices as you travel around the city and figure out what you want to do. And if you want to go along on these caravans, there's a lot of neat things going on in this game. But ultimately, folks, if this looks like something that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it for me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.